Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the stream. This is a very similar open to like the past week. Market has not been very creative. Looks like we're well within yesterday's range. So yeah, good morning, Paul. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Bill. Plenty of action though. Like we ended up in a range, but there's a lot of candles that have formed actually. Kind of anticipate a bit of volume off the open. Don't want to get my hopes up, but very well could be. Pretty decent long setup there that I was not awake for. Good morning, Michael. Hey, Pablo. See how NQ shapes up. Pretty much the same thing, so that's another good sign for today. Trying to mark the high here. Joanne passed an eval yesterday. Nice. Now the real work begins. Yep, NQ looking very similar. Both in a little uptrend here. Could possibly get that second leg up. If NQ throws in a bullish hammer, I will attempt a long. We're just about ready to open up the market. Got less than a minute. No real news to speak of. We already got through PPI. Didn't really do a whole lot. We had this little move up off of the PPI. It doesn't look like news kind of volatile though. It just looks like a standard move. And no more real earnings today either. So today is just going to be institutional balancing. Hopefully there will be enough conviction to actually go somewhere. And here's the opening bell. Contreras, G. Contreras, good morning to you. Gus, that works. We can go with Gus. I like G though. Not gonna lie. Good morning, McLeese. All right, so this little move up on the S&P has already had 2 legs. We're gonna move up, close outside of the channel, and a new high. So could very well be done. Here was our move up, close outside of a channel, new high. This is typically when a trend is over and we expect a correction. So far, that's what we're getting. So we will be watching this move down closely. If this develops into a nice downtrend, we will look for a short. But this could very well continue to go higher, in which case we'll have to adapt. Another pop above the moving average. Good morning, Tom. Yes, everybody, smash that like button. Start your day with violence. It's Friday, right? Like, got to get it out, you know? Then recover over the weekend. Good morning, Julian. Yeah, so check this out, guys. We made a new high when we were expecting a correction. It didn't happen. Now, this is still much too range-like for me to consider a wider channel, or at least actually make trading decisions off of it. But it's very possible that we do have a wider channel beginning to form. Because if you have one trend that plays out, right, move up, break new high, you expect a correction, you expect the market to go down. If it doesn't, and it just keeps making new highs, what that means is there is more buying activity than we anticipated and some sort of larger pattern at play. But looking over on the Nasdaq, we do not really have that same pattern going. This move up played out in the same way. Close outside of that channel, new high, but we haven't even made another new high yet. This looks much more like a range. Nasdaq, quite a bit heavier, more sluggish than the S&P right now. Yes, still crawling upwards. Just not strong enough for me to actually consider a long trade until it breaks out of the top of that range. All right, we are starting to get that little movement down. Maybe this will be when we actually get our correction. Certainly looks like the NQ wants to correct, as it is significantly weaker. Good morning, Stephanie. And it is Friday, guys. You know what that means? Dad joke Friday. Bring your best. The goal, as always, is not laughter, right? A dad joke, you do not really want people to laugh. You're looking for groans. The more groans there are, the better the joke. I was actually just talking to my son this morning. You know, the weather's been pretty chilly up here, and he was complaining about being cold, you know, just really complaining about being cold. So I told him to go stand over in the corner. It's like, why? I said, because it's 90 degrees. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you groaned today, you're welcome. Looks like we're pushing up yet again. If we break out of the top of that range, I will be looking at some sort of secondary channel like that. And actually, Nasdaq's starting to catch up a little bit. Starting to look a little bit more bullish. Really hard pattern to trade when we just keep creeping up like this. Pretty low volume too, so hard to trust this move. Come on, we really, even if we're bullish, even if we want to get long, what's going to help is a drop. We need to test how willing buyers are going to be. Push price back up and stop selling pressure. Got to test the bid at some point. That will help set up buying opportunities. Oh man, I missed that joke. Tom says, really don't like the new coffee I'm trying. It's grounds for complaint. That is a groaner. For sure. Good morning, Freedom. Okay, here we go. Hopefully a little push down. Watching it on NQ as well. This will be very good for the market either way if we can get a little move down. Sweet. S&P working its way down too. I will actually consider a short if we get a nice pullback and a second entry. All right, watch this pullback closely. If the EMA acts as resistance, we'll look for our short. So far, so good. Stalling around the EMA. We have one leg of the pullback. Almost a push down. Let's see if we can get below that previous bar. Nice. There's the first attempt lower. See if we get back to the moving average and get that second attempt. See if this bar reverses. If it does, I will be ready. If not, we're probably in for a new high. Martin, good morning to you. Not looking like we're getting that push down. Nasdaq solid close above the 21. S&P is quick to follow. And the bullish pressure this morning is legit. We get a nice higher low at the 21. I might consider taking a long. As the bulls so far are winning the battles. All right, coming back to the EMA now. Let's see if it offers any support. So far, not looking like it. And when you're going back and forth above and below the moving average, usually only means one thing, and that, like it or not, is a range. And Q also looking quite range-like. Next opportunity I'd probably look for is if we come down to the bottom of this range and it holds a support, I'd be looking for a buy right there. Of course, if we just blow past that level and continue in a downtrend, we can look for a short. So that'll be the next area we're looking at and making a determination. Okay, what's going to happen here? Are buyers or sellers in control? So far, it's pretty evenly matched. No real conviction on either side. Buyers with a slight advantage. Ooh, that's a pretty tempting higher low. Unfortunately, just really don't have much of a bias to go off of, so it'd really just be kind of reacting off that one bar, which is not a good system for sure. Nice, Martin. Watched the video on the 3 rules, helped you make a solid trade this morning. That's great. Glad to hear that was helpful. Yeah, there is just no clear trend right now. I'm staying out of this. Both sides are looking pretty tempting, and that's a good indication to stay out. Okay, we're getting really close to the bottom of this range, so I will be watching for a potential long. If it shows as support, same on NQ, we'll be watching this really closely. All right, that's a potential bar right there on the S&P. A little bit big. Was not quick enough to get in right away. I think I'm going to wait. Nasdaq did not get the right bar for that. If we get a higher low, though, I'll jump into that. All right, so far so good. Not closing on the high. Gonna be patient here. Good morning, Octopus. You missed some good rangy action, my friend. How dare you not be present for that? Some volatility's creeping in though, guys. And yeah, Tom, you're right. This is a pretty decently high ATR. Nearly 5 points on the S&P. Still didn't get the good bar. Original scalp would have worked on ES. You decided to risk this bar here. It is a little bit big. Oh gosh, it's 8 points. Yeah. Yeah, you either have to take it on a retrace or use a very small position. That's pretty crazy. Why did the octopus cross the road? Please do tell us, Tom. To get to the other side. Wow. That is worthy of many groans. Again, no real solid bias here. Waiting for something clear to pop up right now. It's not looking great. All the patterns have pretty much played out. NQ is looking like it wants to break below the bottom of that range here. That might be wise, Tom. Just calling it a day. Price action is it's pretty trappy right now, for sure. Okay, here's a decent bar. We did tick below that previous one, closing near the high. If it does, I think I might give it a go. Yeah, we'll give that a go. Not gonna give it a lot of room, just looking for a quick little scalp. There we go. Come on. Nice. Come on, pop up, baby. Pop up. Let's go. We're just going to chase this up. Nice. Took like 30 points there. And yeah, it could pop, Tom. I agree. I definitely agree. But with how choppy it is, I would much rather take a small win and like be like, oh man, I could have given it room, versus give it room and take a loss on it. So yeah, I could have, if I would have trailed this stop below each bar, might have gotten a little bit more out of it, but I'm pleased with 30 points on a choppy day. Wish S&P would have set up too. I mean, the only real way you could have taken it is with that giant bar. And yeah, I ain't taking an 8-point bar on a choppy day. And it didn't even retrace too much. Like the best fill you could have possibly gotten on there would have still made it a 5-point bar. That's more doable. But now we find ourselves at the top of the range. I would be leaning towards a short here if it could set up. But this could just be the beginning of this move, so I want to at least let this uptrend fully play out. I think we could have one more push up, so I'm not shorting just yet. Looks like we are getting that second push up. Didn't quite make a new high though. Did not get a good bar, unfortunately, for any sort of short. NQ is still like mid-range here too. Still very well could pop up, so can't short just yet. Middle of the range, no bias. In this range, you got to trade on the extremes, right? The best opportunities in a range are always at the low and the high. In the middle, like you just get chopped. Imagine taking any trade in the middle here. Imagine taking a short here. Shoot. Imagine taking a long here. Like it's just way too dicey in the middle. So you got to wait till we get to the extremes of the range. And I would say that NQ looks a little bit better. It's much more consolidated, much more consistent on like where it's turning down and up on the highs and lows. And this is starting to look good. We had a move up, close outside, new high. If we can get a failed breakout right here, we'll take the short. S&P meanwhile moved quite a bit higher out of the range. Could take an aggressive short on that bar, but it's got a little bit of a bullish body. I'd recommend holding off on that. But if S&P can give a double lower high, I'd get in. Do not even have a single lower high yet. But definitely getting a move off the top of the range, as would be expected here. EMA showing a little bit of signs of support. Still can't get below the EMA. If we do, that's when I'll be looking for that short setup. Yeah, it's looking a little bullish. EMA is holding. We're pushing up, at least on the S&P. NQ is still in the range, not looking as strong. Martin says, did you hear about the band called 1023 MB or 1023 megabytes? Have not. Have not. I'm waiting for the punchline. Maybe it's a sincere question. They're pretty good, but they haven't had a gig yet. All right. All right. That's clever. That's clever. Kind of a nerd joke. You got to understand computers a little bit. Jonathan asking, what recommendation would I give to have the same chart and candles using Tradevate with the same settings but not getting the same? Not sure. Couple things, Jonathan. One is that tick charts are never exactly the same because of the way the orders are processed. Like you're gonna get slight differences. With that said, there are some things you can do to make it a bit more consistent. I don't know what the settings are on Tradevate specifically. However, on the NQ, on NinjaTrader, let me show you something. Make sure, hold on. Make sure that you have this checked, and you'll have to look around on Tradevate to see if you can find this, but you want the tick chart to be processed after the end of day. So break at end of day means that it will start the ticks the next session, the session that we're currently trading. If you don't have this checked, it calculates starting from whenever your chart starts, right? So this will make it more consistent. Along with clearing your cache. Those are the two main things. I am going to reload my data though, just to make sure that everything is legit. S&P still finding a bit of support on the EMA. Got to be patient here. There's really no trend that we can play. We're just right at the top of this range. Clearly, though, there is more bullish pressure than bearish pressure, as you've seen just visually, right? We have overall been going up. But at the same time, it's been very choppy along the way, so that's not a trend that was going to be very helpful to give us trading, to inform our trading decisions, really. NQ quite heavy as well. And hopefully, like, the NQ can drop down, meander its way back to the support, and we can get another long. That would be ideal. Starting to look quite Friday-like. Low conviction and low volume. Let's go. Let's go. Move down would be ideal. Again, because of the overall bullish bias, I would rather buy than sell. And then if we can get down to a key level to buy, perfect. That range low. Let's make it happen, market. I like this so far. We're meandering our way towards the bottom of the range. You don't want to see it like rifle down to the bottom with really strong selling pressure. That would not be good for a buy. Although I wouldn't mind that because a little conviction could be very helpful. Like if we just shoot through the bottom of this range, start selling on heavy volume, great. Like we can look to short, but in terms of looking to buy here, we do not want heavy pressure. All right, NQ is getting close. We do not want to buy while this little downtrend is in play. So what we would need now for a bullish trade is to get a close outside of this channel and then a push down and then a bullish bar, right? That's what we need. That's really the two possibilities we have, right? One is that this range holds and we get a setup like this. That would be ideal, just given what has happened so far in the market. The second possibility would be that all of a sudden the selling pressure picks up, we get a legitimate breakout, and then a pullback, and we look to short. I'd prefer the first scenario. Either way is good, and we'll be hunting those setups on the Discord. So it's been a great week. Thank you guys for joining me here on YouTube. Be sure to check out the links below. A lot of sales in the prop firm space too. Apex is 90% off right now. So yeah, take advantage of those if you want. Have a great weekend. I will see y'all very soon. Later.